Welcome to Table for One. I'm the narrator, and in today's video, I'll be unboxing the Nemesis Retaliation Stretch Goals box. Let's get rolling. Alright, so I'm excited to now be unboxing the Stretch Goals box for Nemesis Retaliation. And as with the base game of Nemesis Retaliation, this was provided to me by Awaken Realms. But as a quick reminder, on my publisher-sponsored content, I of course retain full editorial control, and I always retain the right to say no, and I do say no to publishers more often than I say yes. So I only put stuff on the channel if I'm really interested in it personally. So with that being said, I want to get this plastic wrap off first before I start showing you. Oh, I left that open, huh? Before I start showing you some of the box, just to get the glare off of here. I do wish that more board games would come like wrapped in paper or something. So much plastic, it's a little sad. But here we go. I really like this color scheme. Just kind of a nice image here. So let me flip this over. So if you watched the unboxing of the base game, I had the special edition, and I think the only difference between the retail edition and the special edition was whether it came with cardboard standees or miniatures, respectively. So this, I can see, comes with 50 high-quality miniatures. I don't know if there is a stretch goal box that comes with standees. I don't know if that's a thing or not, but it looks to me like this is going to come with a whole other enemy type. And then it looks like there's a way to use characters from Nemesis and Nemesis Lockdown in Retaliation, which is kind of cool. It doesn't look like you're actually porting anything over from those games. I don't know yet. We'll get in here and see. But it looks to me more like it's just coming with components with that artwork, and it's kind of like, yeah, you're the captain again, or the scientist, or the xenobiologist, or whatever. So let's get this open, find out exactly what's going on in here. Like I said, I don't know if there's a version of this available with just standees, but it seems that this one's got minis. So if you're looking to get the stretch goals, maybe that's something you research a bit. Black on the inside of the box. It is, I mean, they do this on all the Nemesis boxes that I've ever seen, just this black on the inside, and it does look a lot better than cardboard. It's very clean and fits the like dark theme of the game. Maybe we'll just push that all the way up there. So what have we got? We've got cardboard punch out right on top. Oh, one new character just for Nemesis Retaliation. So this is the Bio Enhancement Expert. They get some tokens of some kind. Here's a standee. I bet there's a mini in there as well. So this is just a brand new character, so a 6th character. That's kind of the way they did it with Aftermath as well. It came out with 5 characters, and then the medic was sort of a separate add-on. So we'll take a look at that in a bit. Contractors rules sheet. Because I think, yeah, the old characters that you're importing are considered contractors. Although I thought there was a contractors character in the Nemesis Retaliation box. I gotta go check that. I'll find out. What else do we have? So, Insider Expansion Rulebook. What is this? Components, 1 Insider model and standee. Insider card. Huh. I didn't know that there was a little mini expansion in here, the Insider. What does this say? The overview says the Insider expansion introduces a highly variable story of the Insider, a woman trapped in the facility with her own goals. During the game, a random Insider story will be introduced, changing and adding new rules to the game. Characters will be able to progress any given story, sometimes fighting together with the Insider, sometimes against her. That's kind of neat. I didn't really know that was a thing. When I followed this campaign, again, I did follow the Retaliation campaign. I didn't end up backing it myself. But when I followed it, I remember like a vote, I think, on this character like image. There were different options. That seems sort of familiar, but okay, that's a really short but cool, I like story. So it's just this 4-page expansion. Neat. Then we've got this rule book here. This is for the Neoflesh Cult. So this is the other enemy type here. And again, there's pictures of cardboard and of minis. And what does this say? Version with standees. If you have the version of the game featuring standees, you will find them in the box instead of models. That's a little ambiguous to me, but that makes it sound to me like this stretch goals box can come with either standees or minis. We've got some punch boards here. So we'll get to this a little bit later. Got at least one of these. Again, this I had this in the Retaliation box too. Just like one lone standee outside of the bag. I don't know why that is. So how is this set up? Well, these are kind of funny sized bins. But we can start with this one. So maybe some tokens go here, some cards or something. These appear to be the Neoflesh Cult enemies. So they've got like this really intense gold coloring on them. So these are pre-shaded, or what Awakened Realms calls Sundrop. And that is the way I prefer my minis. Because I am not a painter. I'm not super big into minis myself, but if I'm going to use them, I'd like them to look nice. And the pre-wash is like a good way to make them look pretty good without me having to do any work and without having to pay what it costs to like fully paint each one. So, every set of enemy minis in the Nemesis game so far have been like a different color. So the original ones were like an aqua, the Carnomorphs were red, the Void Seers were purple. What else? The Night Stalkers were a brown, the Chytrids were a green, and then in the most recent, in Nemesis Retaliation, the base ones, which were called something blood, Prime Bloods maybe, they were like a dark forest green, and now the Neoflesh Cult is gold. I think there are one or maybe two other enemy types available for Retaliation that are not in this box. They're separate expansions. I think one of them are the Sangavores, I want to say, and there might be another. Looks like we've got a first player token here. This is so there was a cardboard token in the base game box. And again, I've got an unboxing for that. You can go watch that if you want to compare. But there was a cardboard punch out for first player, and then this is the mini, which is like a space platypus. So we're getting away from the space cats that they were using previously. This appears to be the mini for the Insider. That's what they were called, right? Yeah, the Insider. That looks good. So again, these have like that dark gray pre-wash that all the other characters have, that they are still gray, but they're not like the flat gray. Like, gives them a lot more contrast. It does look really good. So there you go. This is the new character. That's interesting that there's a insert in the insert, but this is the Bio Enhancement Expert with the green ring. I was wondering where the green character was when I unboxed the main Retaliation box. Sort of a kneeling down and shooting pose. That's pretty cool. So I'll put her there. And then we've got this die, which is a custom die. And this is painted with like this is closer to that dark forest green of the Prime Bloods. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. Is that right? 3's on opposite sides, 1 and 4 on opposite sides, 2 and 4 on opposite sides. So a custom die, it's kind of funny shaped, I imagine. It's probably pretty close to fair. Rolls fine. There's a 4. I don't know if it's gonna. I assume they've tested this plenty to make sure it lands on every side, because it's the shape is a little odd, but that's cool. Let's put that there. Thematic anyway. Not sure gameplay wise what it's used for yet. We'll set this up here. What else? Oh, this. Okay. This is. This might be taped on. Either that or I got really lucky removing that. Yeah, I just got lucky. That was not taped on. It was just kind of gripping it. Okay. This is the main tray. Holy cow. That is enormous. So the Neoflesh Cult, from what I remember from following the campaign, is like an integration of biology and technology. So you can see there's like plate paneling and looks like, machinery, robotic pieces all integrated together with some more biological parts. So this has got to be the queen or equivalent. And we've got, I didn't even really look at these that closely, but there are 6 of them. What are these? There are 6. Nothing. 1 mother brain. This is the mother brain. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, I just can't count. 5 cultists in 2 poses. Looks like 2 of this pose and 3 of this pose. No, 3 and 2. 3 and 2. Okay. Then what else are we going to have? We're going to have 9 ironclads, 9 slashers, 9 claw mines. Is that what that says? Crawl mines. 9 fire spitters, and 10 twitchers in 2 poses. What in the world are these things? These are the 10 twitchers in 2 poses, so these are the small things. And these must be the 4 other types. So I'll get these organized and figure out what the heck is going on there. Then we've got a bunch of cards, which it looks like will fit here. And then there's this insert, this little foam insert, which I guess I will keep. But if you were going to sleeve your cards, it looks like this leaves enough room for all the sleeves. But we've got action cards here, probably for this new character. We've got, I don't know what these are. That's exploration. I remember that. I don't know what the heck that is. It's got the platypus on it, though. What do we have in this other bin? We've got more, possibly action cards. These are probably going to be life support control. I don't know what this deck is. These are probably going to be things like this enemy's attack cards. What else? Maybe different events. Bio enhancement. Oh, that's pretty bent. That's sad. The card got a little beat up. Looks like, is it just 1 card in there? Let's open up this thing. See what this is. Bio enhancement expert character item. Yeah, it's just 1 card. Man, that got bent to hell. That wah. I usually sleeve these though, so if I sleeve all this stuff, that'll straighten it out some. Personal defense weapon, ranged weapon, heavy. Deal 1 hit instead of 4. Okay. And some small cards here. So I guess I'm going to sort of unpack all this stuff, get a better idea of exactly what is in here, pack it back up, and then I'll come back and show you what I learned. So let's start the music. Here we go. So I'm ready to talk with a little bit more information now about the stuff that was in this box. It all makes sense. It's pretty good. The storage is good. So first impressions are good. We kind of looked at some of these minis before. In addition, in this tray, this whole section here is just the intruder tokens for these new enemy types, the Neoflesh Cult. So there were plenty of plastic baggies that came with this. I thought about bagging these up together, but I think that this storage lid is going to be sufficient. I don't think these are going to fall out and go anywhere. Even if I... Let's see. Anything move around? Nope, everything is still separated the right way. So yeah, I don't need a bag for that. That's really convenient. So this other little tray, what do we have here? So this one Standee stand was for the new character. So because I don't know why. If you bought these as Standees, I would think you would get this as a Standee. And then I got these as minis, so I have this mini. I don't know why this Standee is here. I have 1 Standee. It's fine. I put that in there. And then there were these 3 body tokens that are for the Neoflesh Cult. These punch outs, I think they go here on absorbed bodies. So Neoflesh Cult is absorbing bodies. In the rule book, there's a little bit more lore about some alien AI, and it is experimenting on human flesh, but also some alien flesh and kind of synthesizing them together. And so there's the, what is it called? Not the queen, some kind of mind, the mother brain, here. And these are like the larva. These are, what are these things? Twitchlings in 2 poses. And the poses were sufficiently different. So these are like little creatures that have been mechanically and genetically merged and modified. So these things, I guess, attend to this, whereas all these things attack you. And I think these are the cultists. These are the cultists. So we kind of looked, there were 2 poses of these. These look really great. So like these are people who have been absorbed by this Neoflesh cult, and they're sort of being controlled by it, but also sort of doing some controlling. And they can, through the use of some cards, which I'll show you in a minute, they can control these 4 different enemy types. So again, we have the crawl mines and the fire spitters. And then the ironclads are here. It's holding up like a little shield and hiding behind it. And the slashers. And the sculpts are sufficiently different, and even though they're a little bit over the top, the names of these enemy types make a lot of sense with their poses. Like I already have some sense of what it is they're doing, so that's really helpful for keeping them separate and kind of obvious. The fire spitters clearly looks like it's set up to spit some fire here. The crawl mines definitely looks like it's crawling around and it's going to explode. So anyway, those are the minis. This die here is its own mini expansion. That's what this platypus card was. So this is the Lucky Burst die. It says an alternative burst die for Nemesis Retaliation, which reduces the difficulty of the game. You may decide to use the die for the whole game or at any point during the game. On the back it says, once per round, before you roll the burst die, which again is this, you may discard 1 action card to use the Lucky Burst die. Before you roll the normal burst die, discard an action card to use the Lucky Burst die during this action instead of the standard one. So the Lucky Burst die favors higher results. So I just put that little reminder card here. Let's talk about some of the other cards. So in this, we'll start here. In this section here, this middle section, these are all the cards for the Insider. So on top here, there is this double-sided card, Friendly Insider and Hostile Insider. And then the rest of these are just story cards, and they're all numbered. So I left them in order, number 1 through number 55. So these are the story cards, and you can flip them over. I don't know which side you look at first, probably this side. Read the flavor text, and then there's stuff on the back that I don't know if they're objectives or what, but that's pretty cool. So then I just put this Insider card there, and then this is in this section all by itself. Let's take a look at this section next. So I've got that Lucky Die card. Then there's really 2 sections to this. I've got, there we go, in the front here, all of the Neoflesh cards. And so this is what I was expecting. So they're attack cards, and then they're event cards, and they're exploration cards. So we can go through those real quick. And then, the 5 player help cards as well. So I put those on the front. So here's some exploration cards specific to this enemy type. These are events. Just flipping through them quickly, but they're looking cool. And we're on the attacks now. So, thematic with some of the names I described. I'm seeing Boom and Snatch, Rat-a-tat, Clank, Slash. There you go. Okay, so this is the attack card. So this is all of that stuff. And then I put the Lucky Burst die in the front, and this is all together in the front half of this compartment. The back half is all the stuff for the new characters. So we've got the randomizer card, character draft card for the new Bioenhancement Expert. And then I put her action cards there. So she's got her, 10 action cards that you would sort of expect. And, I didn't really look, but I assume these tokens are for her and not for the Neoflesh Cult. Didn't really see that, though. Is there more information somewhere? I don't know. I'll take a look again. But, there's the cards for that character. And then when you're playing, so I was correct, there is a contractor in the base Nemesis Retaliation box. You can choose to play as any of the base 6 characters from the original Nemesis or Nemesis Lockdown, but not from Aftermath. Those characters are not here. So these are double-sided, and they don't seem to, I don't know what order they're in. I was going to say they're in no order. I'm sure they're in some kind of order, but you see the captain, the janitor. So obviously Nemesis, Lockdown. The pilot is from Nemesis, soldiers from Nemesis, scientist from Nemesis, scout from Nemesis, mechanic from Nemesis, and the rest of these are going to be Lockdown. The xenobiologist, the sentry, the survivor, the hacker, and the lab rat. So you can play as any of them. So when you do that, you take the 10 contractor cards from the base game or from the Retaliation box, and you're going to start with those. And 5 of them are going to say, what do they say? Subcontractor? They say something like that. It was in here. They say, contractor consultant on the bottom. You're going to remove those 5 and replace them with 5 that are specific to the contractor you chose. So here's the 5 for the captain, 5 for the pilot. So you're going to kind of mix and match with that deck. So for each of these 12 characters, there are 5 cards. So there are 60 here. So that's what these are. And then if anyone plays as one of these characters, nobody can play as any of the other ones or the base Retaliation contractor. So I've got all this stuff together right here. So the 1 new character and then the 12 contractors. So that's pretty cool. And then what the game suggested was, let's see, there are these contractor draft cards. There are 12 of them, 1 for each of the characters. And the rules suggest, that's what this booklet here was, contractor rule sheet. This suggests that you shuffle these up and place, during character draft, 2 random ones on the middle of the table. And then everyone, when they're choosing their character, can choose from the 2 random draft cards they have or one of these. That if anybody selects one of these, then the other one goes away as well as the regular contractor. So it's just a few more options. So that's what these draft cards are. I've also got the character item for the Bioenhancement Expert. I'll just put that here on top. Personal defense weapon, ranged weapon, heavy. Yeah, we already looked at that, so I'll put that here. After that, I've got, let's not mix these up, character items for each of these contractors. So 2 for the captain, 2 for the pilot. I think there's 2 for everyone. Soldier, scientist, mechanic, and scout. And then we've got sentry, hacker, survivor, xenobiologist, janitor, and lab rat. Yep. So there are 2 of those for each character. And then after that, we've got these Queen Health cards for the Neoflesh Cult. I'll show you the other side in a second. So Queen Health. I haven't shuffled them yet. They do different things. And then there are these, what are they called? Activation cards. So I think the cultists can activate these different intruder types. So Twitchling, Fire Spitter, Ironclad, Crawl Mine, and Slasher. And what did I see? There's something in here. These are called skill cards. So by default, none of them have any additional rules, but then I guess these skills can be turned on. So then the slashers get this special ability, crawl mines get a special ability, etc. So you can take a look at those. I think that sounds like a cool mechanic, even though I don't really know anything about it yet. So I'm putting these here. So from closest to me to furthest away, I've got the brand new character, and then their cards, and then all the other contractor cards, and then the Neoflesh Cult stuff. Then I have the Insider. And then here on the little cards, I just maintain that order. I've got the new character stuff, and then all the contractor stuff, and then the Neoflesh Cult stuff. So that's fairly well organized. And this all goes together really nicely too. So this main one that sits on the bottom has this lid here. I don't intend to take this out again. It's really dark. There is some artwork on the side of the box here. Usually it's much more vibrant. It's really dark on this box, but that's okay. It's pretty much going to be covered all the time. So I'm going to place this back in here, and this on top of the cards. This well here fits all of these pieces really snugly. And now I'm going to cover this, put it in its spot, and there is a little indent here for these two pieces. We kind of looked at there was this absorbed bodies, and we saw the pieces that go there. I don't know what this is. Place dead, I think that's twitchlings. Place dead twitchlings here. It might be cultists. I don't know what that symbol is, but you place them there. So those two things can fit right here. And then we've got our, what order? I'll probably I like to do the thickest one on the bottom so it's easier to scoop up without bending anything. So Neoflesh Cult expansion. I'll put these here. Here's the contractor's rule sheet. Here's this. In the Retaliation base box, there was, I think the queen is alive and the queen is dead. And this is the queen is on the map and the queen is off the map. So that suggests something new and interesting mechanically. And then I'll place the Insider rulebook on top. So that is what is inside the Nemesis Retaliation Stretch Goals box. Again, this one was full of minis. It sounds to me like there is a version with standees instead, if that's something you would prefer. But I do think this stuff all sounds pretty interesting. It seems like it's got some cool new mechanics, so that's always exciting. And it's fun to see the familiar faces of the old characters too. One thing I didn't mention about these old characters coming back as contractors is when you play with them, you can either, if you have the old game, go get your mini or standee from that game and use that on the board. Or if you don't have the other Nemesis games and you don't have those minis or standees, just use the regular contractor, standee, or mini from your Nemesis Retaliation base game box. So I think that makes a lot of sense. But I am looking forward to really delving into these rules and learning more about it and hopefully getting that on the channel. But in the meantime, if you just have questions about the content of this box itself, if there was something that I wasn't clear about, let me know down in the comments. I'd be happy to answer any questions. Otherwise, if you like this, leave a like on the video so that I know you want more Nemesis content. I'll also put this up on Board Game Geek, so you can leave it a like over there if that's something you'd want to do. You can share this with somebody else who might enjoy it. You can hype this video, or of course, subscribe to the channel if you have not done so yet. I would really appreciate it. Otherwise, that's what I've got for this video. So thank you so much for watching Table for One. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope this was useful. I'm pretty excited to dive into some of this a little bit deeper, and I will see you in the next video. Take it easy.